Welcome Blade Runner fans. This video is an intro to the Tomenosuke Blade Runner 2049 prop replica of Rick Deckard's gun, or the Blade Runner Blaster as most of us would call it. I received this last week and I've been intending to post something to YouTube just to give everyone the inside track. First things first, for anyone intending to import to a country where there are restrictions on handguns, you might want to know that Tomenosuke and their partner Hollywood Collectibles, they know a thing or two about how this item classifies. This package came with this note, and what it says is, please find enclosed the fully UK legal replica prop of the blaster used in the movie Blade Runner. This item is a totally inert replica that does not, and due to design cannot be made to fire any form of projectile. It is built from plastic and zinc and therefore cannot withstand pressure associated with any form of propellant used to fire ammunition. The barrel is blocked off with a steel insert and therefore cannot fire any projectile. It has no form of firing pin. It falls under the classification of UK legal non-realistic imitation firearm and not replica imitation firearm, and so is perfectly legal to own by anyone over the age of 18 years, which I can confirm that I am. And then they print your name and address just at the bottom here. I did read on a forum after I ordered that Hollywood Collectibles had a note like this to keep border control informed, and I was relieved to know that. Suffice to say, I tracked the shipment from Orlando. It arrived with UPS in the States on the 8th, and it was at my home by the 13th. So 5 days, no border hold up, no issues whatsoever. Okay, so let's get on with the fun part. First thing to notice is that Tomenosuke seem to have recently updated the box. I watched an unboxing video before buying this item and the packaging was really quite different. There was a few complaints there, in particular on the inside. There's now a dark backdrop on the outside, which coupled with this illustration, it gives it a really nice feel. I think it looks a little bit more in line with the keeping of the tone of the film. The old style box, it had a beige and white colourway, and although the old box was still cool, I think this one is a closer match to the 2049 vibe. Taking a look over the box, it has these high gloss Japanese letters. It's marked as being manufactured in Japan, as you'd expect, and that it's distributed by Hollywood Collectibles. It's got a plain black reverse, and it has a nice solid feel, and it needs to be. This piece is really quite heavy. The whole package weighed in with UPS at 4.4 pounds. Another point to notice is that the box carries an STGA label with a number. This is a certification number from the Japanese Safety Toy and Gun Association, and it's really a confirmation that it conforms to their standards. So that's the box. The outer, it's a great style. Let's take a look inside. Alright, first thing we have here is some wrap printer material. Okay, quick little highlight here. They're glossy materials. If you're keen to keep everything in great shape and you don't want to leave any finger marks on the material, good clean hands are a must. Right, so we've got two booklets. One is marked, it's a little difficult to read, but it's marked Authentic Prop Replica Blade Runner 2049 Deckard's Gun. And the second, it's Blade Runner Blaster Pro Scrapbook. Photos by Carl Tate, Tomenosuke, CO10 and Hollywood Collectors Gallery. The paper stock is good, it's glossy, it feels quite substantial. If we take a quick look inside, there's a detailed construction guide showing all the major components. As you can see here, it provides some really well handled engineering elevations showing how you'd piece it together if you're making it from a kit. or if you're especially intrigued by its construction, I guess you could completely disassemble and remake the piece using this guide. I don't think I'll be doing that. I like to make models, but I don't personally feel the need to take this one apart. However, I do know that if you're interested in doing so, they've included some tools to help you with that. We'll get to that shortly. Okay, so this is a really nice detail piece. I think it's a great add to the package, giving you all the interesting component level info that you might want to know about. It's got a nice illustration, a nice image rather, of the blaster prop on the back. Let's take a look at the second piece of literature. Okay, so here's the scrapbook. Okay, there's no written lead in here. It says just at the top on the left hand side, 2017 Tomenosuke Blaster screen used version. Okay, so this is clearly the one they used in the film. The images show that there's a certain amount of weathering, in particular down here on the base. It looks like it's had some use, a worn finish, been out in the harsh atmosphere of Earth in 2049. You can see here along the trigger set on the top of the barrel there. The images give some nice perspective on both sides with a couple of close-ups. All the key angles are covered. I think it's great detail. I think the images are good images. The next one we come to here, it's the 2006 World Science Fiction Convention Blaster. It's got a card underneath it which says Harrison Ford's gun from Blade Runner. Okay, so this is the original. And so here what we have is a comparison between the 2049 Blaster and the original. The first thing I noticed is that they're nearly indistinguishable. There's a minor difference really on how the weathering looks. This one, the original, has a bit more of a pitted look about it. In particular here on the bolt action lever, like the weather's caused more damaging to the blaster itself. There's more scratching, more pitting to the barrel. There's scratching on the base, scratching underneath. And when I looked at this earlier, I noticed that some detail they really picked up on. They have a close-up image of a serial number, a 60848 serial number, on the underneath of the grip at the top. And I think that's a really interesting detail they point out there. And then they go on and then they show you another minor detail. But I think it's really in this that you see the authenticity underneath of the bolt action lever, which you can only really see from the cylinder chamber, is the numbers 2389 and a maker's mark. So here you can see they're giving us a really excellent way to compare these two pieces, the original and the prop. It really shows the level of detail the original has, and it gives us a really nice way to judge how determined Tomenosuke have been to make something with all the qualities of the original piece. Which for me as a fan I find incredibly important. Okay, so let's just go to the box, the piece. You probably can't see this too well, but here you've got a jet black foam insert. It's speckled with silver. It's a small thing, but it's a nice touch, makes you think of space. And what we've got here, it's a nice clean foam cut with the bullets housed in one spot and the blaster housed in the centre. Okay, now is the moment we've been waiting for. Let's lift it out from here. Oh, the first thing you notice is the weight. It's really got a great feel. It feels very substantial, very solid. Okay, so here it is. The Tomenosuke 2049 Blaster. The colour of the grip is great. It has that deep amber look, exactly as per the original Hero Grip Blaster. It's known as the Hero Grip because some of the blasters in the film had black grips, those used by the street cops and the background players of the police station scene. Let me say, the feeling on the hand is substantial. It feels so solid. I wondered how the grip would feel itself, and it really doesn't disappoint. And for my hand, it's a great fit. My thumb and forefinger settle nicely into the curves of the top of the grip, and everything feels secure as it should. Okay. Markings across the top of the barrel. They have all the right quality and they're accurate as per the original. Made in Austria. Astaire Daimler Puch A6 steer Manlika. Okay, let's just quickly lift the lever here. We can draw it back and check the chamber. It looks good. I like the way the bolt action lever part there settles back into the body of the blaster really, really sweetly. Let's take a look on the underneath. You see the right markings here, just as they are in the original. Here on this side we can see an on and off switch, again as per the original. Really nice touch here is that those red LEDs there lighting up. And you can see on the both sides and on the underneath. There's a battery just here, a button battery that you can access on the underside. Let's check and see if we see that serial number. Okay. Yeah, I can confirm it is there. 60848. It's in exactly the right spot. It isn't super easy to see, but it's there, alright. That's just fantastic level of detail here that they've handled. The trigger set itself, that's really well done. For those that don't know, a double trigger set on a rifle allows the bearer to use the first trigger as a hair trigger with variable release tension such that you can get a shot off quick if you need to. To say it a bit differently, use the front trigger as a normal trigger if you want to, but you can use it as a hair trigger by pulling the back trigger back to add tension to the front, and that locks back and sets the front trigger, and then the minimal amount of pressure is needed to fire. I like the idea that in the Blade Runner world the blaster would have this setup, but there aren't any film moments where the front trigger is used. Maybe we can infer it. It's there after all. In reality, what we know is that the Steer SL223 action was used by the prop master for the original Blade Runner film. And that particular weapon is a bolt action rifle, and he fitted the bolt action parts over and under the Charter Arms Bulldog revolver, and that created the base for the blaster seen in the film. Bottom line, Ridley Scott liked the Steer action and he included the double trigger set, so they became part of the blaster design we know and love today. Okay, so it looks great. It's got some ribbing on the inside of these triggers. That's another detail that's there on the original. All very, very nice. The finish of the overall piece is as you might expect. It looks like it's just been issued to a brand new recruit, a new Blade Runner maybe. There's no signs of weathering. I like that. I believe the owners of these replica props will handle any weathering or scratching they'd like to see on them themselves. If you want to make it just like the original, then you have something here you can colour wash with grey and black, add scratches to, and otherwise modify until it's just as you wish it to be. Personally, I'll be leaving it just as it is. Right, I'm going to put this down for a minute. Let's retrieve the bullets. They're just in a little baggie here. They have their own spot in the protective foam, which is nice. There's even the bullet shapes cut out. You can feel they've got great weight in their own right. They're perfect. They're polished. They've got this kind of bull-headed front. They feel good in the hand. Okay, now for the load. To access the revolving part of the blaster, the cylinder with the bullet chambers, you push the catch forward and pull just above as such. As you can see, it opens really sweetly. Now, just before we load the bullets up, I can tell you that the mark, the 2389 mark and the maker's mark, it's there. It's tough for you to see, I don't doubt. You'll have to trust me on this. But they made sure that mark was there. That's great effort and attention to detail. Okay, so let's slide these bullets in. So it has a really nice feel. It's got great tolerance. It's not too tight or loose. I'm just going to leave a couple out because I want to demonstrate something to you. Closes up. So that's it. There's the fully loaded, newly issued Flagger Katsumoto Series D blaster, just as Deckard would have picked up on his first day on the job. Something I didn't notice at first, if I pull the trigger, yes, we can see the hammer go back, but also you can see the revolver cylinder rotating, just as you'd expect. Okay, so let me just put this down. One last point, as I mentioned, there's a little kit of tools for anyone that really wants to get up close and personal. Deal with the parts themselves, disassemble it, remake it. Okay, so overall, I'm immensely impressed with this item. It has a high quality feel. It sticks obsessively with the detail of the original prop created for the film. It's very tactile. It's got great weight. And it arrived in good condition. It was well documented. It had good packaging. That's more in line with the feel of the movie. It's very difficult to criticise this piece. Sure, it's not cheap to buy, but if you're after a very limited edition piece of Blade Runner art, Tomenosuke are making just 100 of these, and you have the budget and you like what you see, I have to recommend it to you. It's really a beautiful, badass piece of Blade Runner history, and it's really worth every cent. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Thanks for watching.